The PPI data report is going to be released tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens, and this is the market's expectation of it. I really hope that you learned something new, and if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing to the YouTube channel if you feel like we earned it. So today we did live stream the CPI data report, which is the Consumer Price Index report that went from a 3.7% inflation rate down to a 3.2% inflation rate, which was lower than what the market was expecting for it to come in at 3.3%. So that is great. Again, my concern still is market pretty much traded sideways after the NASDAQ market, opened up. We pretty much traded sideways after we peaked. We pulled back a little bit, rallied, pulled back a little bit. And then at the end of the day, of course, it tried to find a rally and then corrected itself. Overall, NASDAQ market trading sideways after the big push shortly after the CPI data report. My only concern with this is that core CPI. Core CPI did see a drop, but not a very significant drop. And remember, the core CPI is the main focus for the Federal Reserve. I think it's going to be very interesting to see that in the next few days or weeks, if again, the market begins to correct itself, if the concern is because of the Federal Reserve having more of a focus of, hey, core CPI is not coming down as quickly as we want it to. But let's go ahead and talk about the overall expectation for this PPI report, which is the Producer Price Index report. We are currently sitting at a rate of 2.2% on the PPI inflation rate. So what this is the CPI is inflation on the consumer side. PPI is the inflation on the producing side. The reason that PPI is important is that it is viewed as a form of forecast for consumers, right? Because if inflation is caught, that inflation is going up on the producing side of things, inflation on the producing side of things normally gets passed down to consumers, right? Because if producers experience higher cost of goods or whatever the case might be, then they're going to pass that inflation down to the consumers, because at the end of the day, producers still need to make their money, right? That is why the Producer Price Index report is an important report to pay attention to. But again, at the end of the day, everyone always cares more about the consumer. So CPI data report is a more significant or impactful report based off of history. But the market's expectation, let me go ahead and refresh this. It just had a forecast. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. 1.6%. So they expect it to go from 2.2% to 1.6%. Where is this report going to be released? It's bls.gov/PPI. It's the official report that is released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And again, it's a very simple report to read. We're going to be breaking it down in our live trading session tomorrow, right at market open. And if you're not part of our LPP team just yet, I want to remind you, it's the second link in the description down below. But as of right now, again, this was the last reporting for October that was released in October, and it reports on the previous month, which was September, right? So this was released October 11th, 2023. The one that's released tomorrow on November 15th, it's going to say November 15th, 2023, but it's going to say October 2023, okay? The overall breakdown shows that we saw an advancement of 2.2% in the last 12 months ended in September, and then it breaks it down on the graph, and then again, it's a very simple chart to read. It's a little bit different than the CPI data report, because the CPI data report on this side has all the months, and then on this side it has the line items. But when it comes down to the PPI report, it's just the opposite, right? It's just switched. So it's this bottom line that is 2023 September, and then we go down with the line items. I actually think it might be a little bit easier to read on the PPI report. You let me know down in the comment section. It's very easy to see. Okay, total line demand. Again, I can see exactly what that is for September. I can see final demand, less food and energy. I can see what that increase is, total food. And again, to me, this is much easier to read than that actual CPI data report. But again, I just wanted to make sure that you understood where this was going to be released and how you can get access to it. So regardless, if you tune on into any of my live sessions, I want you to be self-sufficient. So yes, it is still an important report to pay attention to, because if we see that the overall inflation rate comes in way higher for the producers than what was expected, you can't be surprised if the market pulls back in a negative way, but vice versa, right? If the inflation rate comes in much lower than what was expected, you can't be surprised that yes, the market's overbought, yes, the market's overextended, but we cannot be surprised that the market can continue to make higher highs and higher lows if the data supports it. Because remember, the main focus right now for the overall market is what the Federal Reserve is going to do with monetary policy. Are we going to continue to pause? Are we going to begin to raise interest rates again? Or in 2024, are we going to begin to potentially cut interest rates? And it's all data dependent. The Federal Reserve has said it many, many times that, again, they're taking it meeting by meeting and making sure that they pretty much dissect these economic reports that are being released on a weekly basis. And when it comes down to their FOMC meetings, meet up with the other members and come to the conclusion of what they should do for the next FOMC meeting. But again, don't worry about any of that. I'll make sure that I keep you guys up to date. And all I literally ask you to do is to subscribe to the channel, and I'll continue to break down where you can have access to all of these, but also making it a little bit easier to understand, because I know it can be very confusing, especially if you're just getting started. So I hope to see you for tomorrow's live trading session. It's going to be the second link in the description down below. And if you have any questions before joining, it's the first link. You can send me a direct message via Discord. I do want to let you guys know that we are running a quick little giveaway for this Hero 9 Black and this Nintendo Lite, and it's for prize week. Right now, every order is getting a prize on Shop TechBuds, which is the fourth link in the description down below. And if you buy anything by tonight, you'll automatically be entered to win not just, again, one of the prizes from prize week, but we're going to be selecting 2 winners, each one walking away with one of those items that you see behind me. And it can be anything. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a mouse pad, you can buy a mystery box. It doesn't matter. Every order gets you entered. We're going to be selecting 2 of you to win these, and I'm going to be announcing the winner on Instagram. So I appreciate your time. Hope that you earned a thumbs up. We'll see you for tomorrow's live trading session. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.